Good woman is an oxymoron. There are no good women. Absolutely none. All right. So, of course, I don't believe that. That is something that a guy said to me, I think yesterday or so. I was having an exchange on social media. I responded to someone's post and I made a comment in regards to the post. And in the comment, I said, they were talking about behavior, whatever. I made the comment and I said, well, good women don't do that. Good. That's not the behavior of good women. So I know that's vague, but that was the response that I made. So this guy comments or responds to my comment, and he said, "Good woman is an oxymoron." So of course, I responded to him, and I challenged what he said. I said, bro, there are good women and there are women who aren't, just as there are good men and there are men who aren't. And I said we can't allow our experiences or past hurts from relationships by women, or if it's women, by men, to shape our view of men and or women in general. I said we have to be accountable or recognize that our choices or our experiences are a direct result of our choices. So anyway, the point is, we have certain experiences, whether we're men or women, with the opposite sex, and sometimes we get hurt. That's just the nature of the dating process. You like somebody, they don't like you. Somebody likes you, you don't like them. Different things happen as we're going through the whole dating process and whatnot. And we get our feelings hurt. Sometimes it's unintentional. Sometimes people are just, they don't care. And it happens. But we cannot allow those things to shape how we see women in general, to the point that you have a man or woman saying, in this case, there are no good women. And dude actually doubled down. But the point of me even making this video is it's just troubling, where you get on social media and you just see the constant mudslinging between men and women. Uh, Single folks. The married folks, they're going on about their business and dealing with other issues. But for single folks, it's like you just see this constant mudslinging between men and women. And I was really, really shocked, because I expect more out of, in this case, men to say something as insane as that. I'm like, dude, it's billions of women on the planet, and forget the planet. There's probably millions of women where this guy lives. I don't know where he lives. I don't know the guy. I didn't look at his profile to see where he lives. I don't know, and it's irrelevant. Let's just say it's millions of women locally where he lives. And I guarantee you, your sampling of women is so small, you couldn't even begin to make a statement like that. But it speaks to, I guess, people's hurt. Folks have been hurt. We've all been hurt. I'm patching up some wounds now. I mean, that's part of it. It's the part that we don't like, but it happens. But the mudslinging, how does that help? How does it help if all we do on social media when we're talking about relationships between men and women is to sling mud? The men are saying, in this case, there are no good women, or the women are saying there are no good men, and all of these different types of things that we're constantly talking about. And it's very hard for me to believe that any man thinks that there are no good women. Even if you don't have one. I ain't got one, but I know there are good women. My sister's one of my best friends, and then other females that I'm close to, that I know that are good women. I know brothers that's good men. I know jokers that are dogs, that are trash. But I also know good men, and I can't believe anybody out here doesn't know any good men or doesn't know any good women. And even if that were the case, why are you on a site where they're talking about dating anyway? You should have just pulled out and just removed yourself from the situation altogether if you actually believe that. If you thought, I mean, just like if you go in a store, if I go in a store and I'm looking for produce, I'm looking for apples, and I'm looking through their apple selection and all their apples are rotten, they're old, they're starting to decay and things like that, then I'm going to leave. I'm not going to stay there and then complain about the apples. I'm going to go somewhere where I can actually find some good apples because what? I know that there are good apples out there. And there are good men out here, there are good women. But anyway, ultimately, my point is the mudslinging. How does that benefit us? We're at a place where relationships, it's a madhouse. It's frustrating as a person who writes about relationships, primarily talking to women. Not that I don't have anything to say to men, but my audience just tends to be primarily women. Women are the ones who usually respond. So I know that women take an interest in what I'm writing about. So I typically speak to women. But with me being in this space, it's even frustrating to me when that's all you see, or mostly what you see. It's just a bunch of negativity. Why do men cheat? Or all men are dogs. Or, just this crazy mudslinging, especially for those of us who actually do want to be in a relationship, those of us who actually do want to get married. None of that stuff contributes to us being able to bridge the gap between men and women where we're able to actually understand each other. That's going to require us to listen, to have the tough conversations where I'm listening to women say things that may be painful to hear. But and I'm not talking about where we're just saying wild stuff about each other. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where you have us talking about the pains, the issues, the concerns that we actually have in our relationships, our communication problems, the things that would actually help us to understand each other. Because what happens often is men talk among ourselves and we're honest when we're talking among ourselves. Women talk among themselves and you guys are honest with each other when you talk among yourselves. But when we come and talk to each other, we're not honest. And I'm not saying we're lying to each other, but we're not open, we're not vulnerable, we're not transparent where we can actually talk openly about how we feel, about the issues that we may have with one another, the things that we don't understand about one another. And we're not open with these things. Why? Because nobody wants to be hurt. I don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be hurt. So you don't have the conversations with me that you need to have. You have those with your girlfriends. I have those with my friends. I talk to some of my buddies and we have open, honest dialogue about our hurts, about our struggles, about our desires to be married again. We talk about that stuff. And it's difficult to have those conversations sometimes with the opposite sex because we don't feel safe having them. Women don't feel safe having them with us. We don't feel safe having them with y'all. And at some point, but we feel comfortable slinging mud, which doesn't help anybody. So my plea, let's have some open, honest dialogue that's beneficial. It's not beneficial for me to talk about women being gold diggers. I don't talk about that nonsense on my Facebook page. It's not beneficial, or any of my other social media. I try to talk about things that are beneficial. We have to talk about things. Like I said, we have to listen to each other. Listen and try to understand the other person. And that word understand means to submit to the other person's point of view. Stand down and just listen and try to understand. It's almost like if you have two people standing directly across the street from each other, and right in the middle of the street, there's an object. And I'm describing what I see. The other person from the opposite side of the street is describing what they see. And what they see is different than what I see. What I see is different than what they see. Why? Because we're looking at that from two vantage points. If I walk across the street, leave my position where I'm at, walk across the street where they are, then I can see it the way they see it. And then if they come over to my side, leave their position, they can see it the way I see it. And that's what we have to do. But we're standing on opposite sides, trying to argue from where we are. Neither one of us want to go to the other person's position to see it the way they see it. And we're just stuck. That has to change. That has to change. The mudslinging needs to stop, please. The mudslinging needs to stop. And we need to have conversations that are beneficial. A lot of this stuff, it may get clicks, it may get attention and stuff like that. But it's not building no relationships. It's not helping us build families together. It's not doing that if that's what we want. All right? So think about that. Please like, comment, share. Love y'all.